It was just last fall that UVA football coach Tony Elliott was complaining in a live TV hit about how the admissions folks were making his job hard, making it almost impossible for him to recruit. Now we're hearing from the UVA athletics director, Carla Williams, about how the school has done as close to a 180 on that as possible. Here's the quote from Carla talking with John Freeman, the play-by-play voice of UVA athletics, on a new podcast that's called Inside Virginia Athletics with Carla Williams. So here's the quote. We've gotten great support from the university in that regard, especially because the rules have changed so quickly with the transfer portal and admissions deadlines. And I mean, there's no way that we're able to build these top 25, top 20 transfer portal classes for football and basketball without support. We're receiving that support. So what she was saying there is, with that nice word choice, support, to see change from where it was just a few months ago. I'll reference back to that national TV hit. It was Tony Elliott answering a question from Mark Richt, former Georgia coach, former Miami coach, on the post-game ACC huddle after Virginia had upset at that point undefeated Pitt team 24-19 on November 9th. Richt, you may remember, interviewed for the UVA job back in 2015 as the program was making the transition from that disastrous 6-year Mike London era. It was rumored that Rick had coveted the UVA job after he had just been let go at that point, just a couple weeks earlier by Georgia. And he only pulled his name for consideration over issues with the admissions office vis-a-vis football recruiting. And that's something I've written about extensively over the years. So here was his question that night, right after, I mean, literally, I got a picture on our site here. It's Tony Elliott sitting with Mark Richt, and they're on the field after, moments after that game. Here's Rick's question. I know the academic standards at Virginia are super high. Actually, I was interviewed by them years ago. Is there any limit to what you could do in the portal, or is it just case by case? Elliott's answer, yeah, I think we have a unique approach. The grad transfer route, we will be able to take advantage of that because we actually have some really, really good graduate options for guys, both non-degree seeking and guys that want to get additional degrees. Where we have to be strategic, Elliott went on, is with undergrad guys. Because once they get beyond their second year, they don't have enough time to get 60 credits that they need to graduate from UVA. We have to be strategic to be able to advantage of taking and go move forward. This was after a win that was Virginia's only win in its last 7 games after a 4-1 start. UVA athletics on Williams' watch doubled down on football early in the offseason after that 1-6 stretch that ended things on such a down note. Williams and her staff able to secure commitments from donors to fund an aggressive approach toward the transfer portal, backed by what I've been reporting is $30 million for the budget for NIL this year for football. The result was a top 25 transfer class. The hiring of Ryan Odom as the successor to the Tony Bennett era in basketball involved a near-complete roster overhaul this spring that had Odom land a top 20 transfer class. Money, of course, is just one part of the equation here. All the money in the world for NIL means nothing if you can't get the kids in school. We'll wrap up with a couple of quotes from Williams on that topic from the podcast. UVA is one of those schools, she said, that will never abandon its mission, which is education-based. We're very, very conscious of and protective of the academic mission of the university, the academic values of the university as we try to compete now. Our competitors, it is a lot easier places where when it comes to academic expectations, but for us here, that hasn't changed. And so we have to find a way to compete within the expectations here at the university. And that is a harder path, as I have said, but we are doing it. Interesting comments there from Carla Williams. So any questions for me? Anything for me to, address that perhaps needs some attention, sports or news or anything else, please drop me a line at chris@augustafreepress.com.